Hello, today I will demonstrate how to configure a network server. First is you need to have an virtual machine with an OS of Windows Server 2008 standard or any Windows server. Next is you need to configure your IP address, which I already did, 192.168.1.254. Have a name for your PC, which I named server, and go to the network on the start option, network, and make sure that your network sharing or discovery is turned on. Next is adding roles to the server. To add roles, you need to go to initial configuration task, which you can open using oobd.exe. Enter, and you can see that it's said that Windows Server initial configuration task. I already have it open. You can see that there's an add roles option. Click it. Go to the next, and activate the Active Directory domain service. Put a check on it. Next, and install. Wait for the installation. You can see that there's it said that installation succeeded. Now close the window and press start. Go to DC from. Open it. Continue. You will create your domain now. Check the use advanced mode installation. Next, and check. Go to create new domain in your forest. Next. Here you will name your domain. I will name it for my initials rncs.net. Click next. The mainnet BIOS name RNCS. Next, and for the forest functional level, you must choose what the server you are using. I will choose Windows Server 2008. Next, and you have the checkmark on the DNS server. The next, then yes, and the next, and you have to choose a password. Next, and it's installing. It will reboot. If you want to reboot it, just click the reboot notification. It will reboot after installing the domain. After the installation of DNS server, you need to add another role, is the DHCP server. Go to the server roles, check the DHCP. Next, here's the IP address that I've put on the beginning. Next, current domain rncs.net per DNS server, which is the IP address. Validate, it's valid. Next, make sure that Wins is not required for application on this network. Click next. Now this is where you add the scope. I will have a scope of 100. Now put your starting IP address, which is 192.168.1.10 and 192.168.1.110. For the subnet mask, it will be 255.255.255.0. For the default gateway, it's optional, so I just gonna click OK. Click it, then next. Then make sure you disable your DHCP v6 disable. Next, and make sure to have the mark on use current credentials. Next. Install, and wait for the installation. After the installation, you can see that installation succeeded with errors. Just leave it be because I'm using a virtual machine. Close. After, we will add the printer and file services. You can see that file services and print services. Put a check mark on it. Click next, and make sure to check the print server. Next, and put a check on the file server resource manager. Next, and there's only one this, so check that. Next, and install both of the services. Now after that installation, you can see that there's the print services, file services on the roles. Now after that, we will configure the DNS server. Go to the start button and click administrative tools. Look for server manager. Continue. Go to roles, DNS server, and look for the reverse lookup zone. Click it and add a new zone or actions new zone. Next, primary zone. Make sure it have to all DNS servers in the forest. Next, IPv4. Next, click and type your network ID, which is 192.168.1. And next, and finish. You can see that there's a file on the reverse lookup zone now. Now, click this file, we'll also configure it. Add, and click new pointer, and type here IP address, and a host name. Click browse on the host name, look for the server, forward lookup, our domain is rncs.net. Click on record types and make it all records, and look for the same as startup authority, which is this first one, and allow, and then okay. Now we'll add another, go to the reverse lookup again, and create new zone, next primary zone, next IPv4, and type the IP address of 127.0 and 0. Click next, and next, and finish. Now go to the created file and add a new pointer and make it 1. And then browse for the host name, server, or lookup, rncs.net, and make sure it have all records, and look for same as each startup party. Click it, and then okay. Now to check the server, and go to the start button and use the command prompt and type nslookup. You can see that the default server is rncs.net and the address is the 127.0.0.1. Now after checking the nslookup, go to the configure networking and click properties. You will need to change your internet protocol version back to the IP address that you have. 192.168.1 and 2.4. Click OK. The next part is the organizational unit, which create the user. So we need to go to administrative tools and find Active Directory users and computers. Continue. Now on the rncs.net bar, click the plus sign and right click the file and create new organizational unit. I will name it 201. Okay, then go to the file on 201 love user, right click it and create new user. Now for the new user, I will name it user1 and user login name user1. Then next, and make sure the checkmark is on the password never expire. So we'll type the password. Then next, then finish. Make another one for another user. Now after making that, go to the user on the file of rncs.net, look for the administrator, which is the first one, and click copy and type in, I will type in my name for this user. Click next, password never expire, and type password. Click next, finish. Now look for the Ronaldo user on this file and drag it to the 201 love user. Yes, you can see that the user is on the 201 love user now. Now that the users are created, go to the start button and search for computer management, because we will create a redirection disk for it. Computer management, continue, go to the disk management. Now for the drive C, right click it and click the shrink volume, shrink. After shrinking, you can see that there's an unallocated storage. We need to allocate it. Now to do that, right click and click the new simple volume, next, and click the NTFS, and you can change the volume label to anything you want, and click the preferred form in quick format, next, finish, and there it is, the new disk. On the new disk, we need to create a folder for the redirection. Now new folder, name it redirection folder. Now for this, you need to right click it and go to the properties, sharing, and click the advanced sharing. Continue. Share this folder, redirection folder, go to the permissions and full control. First, you will need to remove everyone so that only authenticated user can access this folder. Remove it, add, and click on user authenticated. Now, okay, and make sure it have full control and apply. Okay. Now going back to the properties of the folder, go to the security and edit the group or usernames. Then add, you can see that there's no authenticated user, so you need to add it again. Okay, then be sure to click it and have a full control then apply it, then okay, and it's done. Now after configuring the folder of the redirection, you need to have a group policy. In order to do that, click the start button and go to the administrative tools and look for group policy management. In that, you can see that there's a forest rncs.net. Click the plus sign, go to the domains, and you can see the rncs.net again. Look for the 201 lab user, click it, right click it, and then create a GPO in this domain and link it here. I will name it the same as the folder. Okay. And after that, click the plus sign to one user, click the GPO, and like that. After that, right click it, click the enforce, and click edit. You will be directed in this window, which is the group policy management editor. You need to find the user configuration, and under that, you need to find policies, click the plus sign, find the window setting, plus sign, and look for the folder redirection. On the folder redirection, there's many files. You can choose anything you want in this folder redirection file. I will choose desktop. Now for the desktop, click it, then properties, and in the setting, you need to have it as basic. Create a folder for each user under the root path, which the root path will be server redirection folder. This root path is the root path for the sharing property of the redirection folder. Uncheck the grant the user exclusive right to desktop and move the contents. You need to uncheck that, then apply. Then okay, then you're done on this. Now you will need to go to the start and look for the GP update. Click the GP update and it will update your policy. Now we will connect the other virtual machine, which is the client on the server. Go to the Windows 7 for it to load. Click on the Open in Network Sharing Center. We will configure the IP address. Local area connection, properties. You need to uncheck the Internet Protocol version 6 and double click the Internet Protocol version 4. Use the following IP address, which is 192.168.1, and I will make it 4. The subnet mask and property NS will be 192.168.1 and then 254. Click OK. Now we will go to the network and sharing discovery of this window. So start button and go to the computer and go to network, and you can see that there's network discovery and file sharing are turned off. Click it and click the turn on network discovery and file sharing. Yes. And you can see there's the server. Now we will connect it to the main domain. So in order to do that, we need to go to the control panel on the system and security system, and you can see that there's a change setting option. Click it, and there's to rename this computer, change the domain over to click change. To change it, I will name it as client 1, and click the option on domain and type in your domain. This is rncs.net. Click OK. And then wait for it. We'll do sign in, so I'm administrator, and for the password, and now okay. You can see that there's the window that said, "Welcome to the rncs.net domain." After joining, this will pop up that you need to restart your computer. So I will start it, close, and then restart. After starting the Windows 7, you need to click the other user and type in a user 1 and type in the password that I put on the server. Now, click it, then it will log in. Now, go to the server and click start and go to the computer. Do volume, go to the redirection folder. You can see that there's now a folder on the user 1. Click it, desktop, you can see that there's no folder. So we will go back to the Windows 7 virtual machine. Now we'll create a folder here. So new folder, I will name it, Ronaldo. And you can see that there's a Ronaldo folder now on the user 1. I will create another one and call it new. You can see that there's the new on the folder. It means that your server is working. Now, I will demonstrate how to do backup and recovery for the files on the server. In order to do that, you need to add the feature in the initial configuration task, add features, and look for the Windows backup features. Click check on it, and next, and then install it. Wait for the installation. After the installation, close the window and go to the start. Look for administrative tools and look for Windows Server Backup. Click it, continue. Click on the action on the toolbar and backup. Click the backup once option. Wait for it. Then next, full server or custom. I just wanted custom. So next, uncheck the enable system recovery so that only the drive with the primary direction can be backed up. Click that. Next, and click remote shared folder and type the path, which is this. Copy. I will just copy it. Yes, copy backup and backup. Now you can see that the backup is completed. Now you can go to the folder, redirection folder. You can see that there's the Windows image backup. You can see the files of the backup here. Now if the client deleted a folder, for example, I will delete this 2 folder on the recycle bin. We will now do the recovery. So go back to the Windows Server Backup, click action again, and click the recover option. Now, click the this server and set the time, which is I will backup today. So next, I only want to recover files and folders. So next, now look for the user and the server. So server plus redirection folder and user. This and desktop. You can see that there's the folder, so I just need to click it and then press next, and yes, okay. Now for the location, you need to browse it and go to the new drive and put it on the user. So I just put it in desktop and okay. Then next, and then recover. Wait for the recovery. Now close that. Go to the VMware redirection folder, user 1, desktop. As you can see, there's the folder. There's the folder. Now that's how you do backup and recovery. Hello, now I will demonstrate how to remotely access your computers. First is you need to configure your IP address, which I already did. It's 192.168.1.254. Click OK. OK. And turn on the remote access on the system settings. You can see this. Allow connection to computers running any version of remote desktop. Just click that, apply that. Okay. Now on another computer, you also need to change the IP address and the remote access. Now go to the start button of that computer. Search for remote desktop connection. Type the IP address, which I already have, 192.168.1.254. Connect. Type in the password and click OK. Click yes and wait for it. This will pop up. As you can see, I have the screen on my computer in this Windows 7, so I will make a folder test and disconnect from the remote access. Okay, and now go back to the other computer. Log into your account As you can see, there's the folder that I created using the remote access.